fuck. That ring light is bright this evening for me. I need some before. Okay, totally just put my pants back on for this video. I was getting all comfy for the evening, and the first thing to come off is the shoes, and then it's the pants, and I just put them back on. So, okay, do we want to solve this opioid crisis, this drug problem, this prison overpopulation problem? Do we actually want to solve it? Or do we just want to piss, moan, and complain, walk around like we actually want a change, that we actually want things to change? Or do we just want to keep kicking the can down the road to the next person because all we actually care about is our own family and our own home and our own domicile? We don't actually give a fuck about solving the problem. We don't actually give a fuck about the people suffering from addiction or those that it affects, except to the extent of it affecting themselves and their own possessions. And let me just say this, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to not care about other people. It's sad. It's still okay. It may be different than what one person's things that they find morally important may differ from another's, and that's okay. I used to feel, I don't know, upset by that, though now I just think it's sad, and I think that also stems from a lot of personal pain, or I'm just guessing, like, that it could just stem from nothing, like whatever, like you have a right to choose what is important to you. Just saying, that's the mindset that I feel is of the minority of the let's kick the can down the line, because as long as we rip up this homeless encampment that's right down the street from my workplace and my home, and that's fine. I know they're just gonna go and set up maybe a couple blocks down the street, but that's okay, because then I don't have to drive by and see it when I go to work, and I don't have to, they're gonna be discarding, I mean, let's just be honest, it's not the entire homeless population, but 80% of the homeless population is homeless because they have a mental or physical impairment that prevents them from working. 20%, you could say, is a choice, though in reality, majority of the populace is just a couple paychecks away from homelessness anyway. I mean, how many payments on your house can you really miss before they foreclose on it? I've known plenty of people that they owned their home for 30 years, and all they were trying to do was get a renovation on it, and not fully knowing or understanding the process of what they're doing, and then owning your home for 30 years and then it's gone. It's just a little bit of illness. Like, you think after that amount of time you have it paid off, but life happens, but like, for you to pay, or like, I don't know, I digress because anyway, so do we want to create change? Do we? I do. I feel from my conversations, this is of course anecdotal, but I feel from my conversations with people that the majority want change. Even if they don't want to put the effort into creating it, they still want to see it happen. Now, some proposals out there are, if you look at the numbers, because that's what matters, right, is how it's actually affecting change. If you look on a smaller scale, as far as behavior modification in children, one child, right? The definition of a punishment or an appetitive, positive, is that it changes the target behavior. So if the target behavior is, let's say, drug addiction, or the target behavior is, let's say, theft to perpetualize said drug use, the discarding of needles on the street or in our playgrounds around our children, if those are the issues that we want to solve, right, why don't we sprout out some safe zones to shoot up where people don't have to worry about, hey, am I going to get arrested? Or, hey, am I going to get raped? Or, hey, am I going to get robbed? Like, hey, shit, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Now I just, like, blew out a vein. Or, oh, shit, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Now I'm dead. There's a crisis, right? Like, that's what everybody says. There's a crisis. So, what I just mentioned is something that could put a Band-Aid on a gushing wound, right? Because it's like our carotid is severed and we're just like, what are we doing? What should we do? Like, our life expectancy is decreasing. Not Canada, they at least are stagnant. We're not stagnant. We're actually, in our life expectancy, getting worse. Like, the fuck? Okay, so, here's a radical approach. Let's skip that shit. Like, why do we need to have one fucking centralized building per city or county or state, etc.? Why do we need to have one spot? Why don't we just follow Portugal? I mean, it's been like just about 20 fucking years since they decriminalized, not legalized. Legalized is where, okay, yeah, I take a pack of Marb Smooth 100s and let me get an 8-ball. That's legalization, okay? Decriminalization is simply, well, I could literally legally shoot up anywhere. So then it doesn't create the concept of, if you build it, they will come. You know, because if you build one safe place for people to come and use drugs, then you're creating one hub that is basically a magnet, or, you know, a moth to the flame. With, you know, but let's change things. Let's do the radical. Let's do the things that seem so taboo. So, oh my, I can't believe they're thinking of that, and oh no, we don't want drugs and things to run rampant. We don't want our children using drugs more now, and okay, all of those concerns are so valid. I have 4. I don't want my babies on drugs. I also don't want my parents or my cousins or some random person even at the grocery store. I don't want anybody on drugs. That said, you're not going to stop the populace from using. It's better to follow the research, and I'm not asking for us to do something that hasn't already been done and is being done. I'm asking to consider looking at another's example and saying, wow, they're doing it right. Like they're onto something. They figured it out. Look at this positivity. Oh my, let's feed off of that. Oh my goodness, the crisis of student debt, right? That was something I made sure to I paid on my student loans for like a year, and then I was like, whoop, glop, done. No. I looked at how much I paid on the principal compared to what was paid on in interest, and I didn't even have an interest rate that I had a 4.9% interest rate, so mine wasn't even that high. Still freaking ridiculous, because that's at the time that was higher than what I would have qualified for a home loan. So that's funny. But because you can go bankrupt, lose your home, and be forgiven for that debt, but you could go bankrupt and then look at your student loans. Like you see people making posts saying things like, oh, I read one today, can't remember the person's name, but I'm gonna roughly quote, I've been making payments faithfully, not missed one, since 2014. I owed $40,000 at the time. Now I owe $41,000. Like, how the fuck does that happen? So if we aren't funneling all this money into, kind of like, I see it like a water bottle. Like, as liquid leaves, like, there still needs that space. It's not gonna, the space is always filled. The glass is never half full or half empty. It's always full. It is full. It's the substance is only shifted. So instead of us looking at, oh, we're gonna be, not be half full on this, or we're gonna be only half full, or we're only gonna be half empty, or we're still gonna be full, and we're still gonna be complete, and it's still going to be, if anything, in a higher abundance of everything for our kids. Come on, guys, we can do this. We can. Like, let's decriminalize everything. Let's just look at the numbers. We can do this. We can do this. Yes. I mean, we don't have to legalize. Legalize is where now you have to start, But we started that wave, you know, and I'm not even saying to do that, but with legalization takes all the additional steps of the Washington Liquor and Cannabis Control Board. You gotta regulate it. Then you have to determine, like, for example, in Washington State, a package of edibles or soda cannot contain more than 100 milligrams for the entire continents of THC. And each serving is 10 milligrams of THC. Or I could be, is it milligrams? I just know it's 10 and 100 for the THC portion in the edible or drinks. Now, that's a lot of work, dude. That, like, I remember when it was first legalized, I went to and sat in at some of those, you know, public forum meetings, and you'd think there'd be like more people that go to those things, but there's really like nobody that goes for public comment. Like, there were some people, but for all of the whole county, that it just didn't make. I don't know, I'm rambling a lot, but this is something I'm so passionate about. Like, come on, y'all. We don't. What is the purpose? What does it solve? What does it actually help by, oh, look, there's somebody smoking some meth. Let's put them in jail. Do they stop smoking the meth by going to jail? No. Do they stop stealing by going to jail? No. Do they get clean by going to jail? Maybe while they're in there, because that shit's gonna be exponentially more expensive inside those walls than out. Though, long term, once they're out, I mean, is the whole purpose just to lock people up and forget about them? That, like, if you think about people as just people, you know, you want to do that to a child. You want to just, especially for them choosing to stick their hand on a hot stove. You don't, yeah, you hurt yourself and you're hurting yourself. And especially my son Barrett, he's the type of person to, oh, look, it's hot, I'm going to touch it. Oh, it hurt me, I'm going to touch it again. Oh, it hurt me, I'm going to touch it. Son, stop. What are you doing? He doesn't understand. It doesn't make the same sense in his brain when he touches something hot and it hurts him in the same way as it makes sense to me. I don't like the term average or normal, because what actually is average and what is normal, those questions, I don't know what definitions to use. We can do this, though. We don't have to keep sending people who are struggling in pain to jail. You know, like, let's literally copy. I'm not saying, we don't even have to, like, it's so easy. We don't even have to figure it out. We don't even have to come up with any of the ideas, any of the solutions. We don't have to write the book for it, because it's already been done for like 2 decades. We just have to be like, hey, how'd you do that? Oh yeah, you did that, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious what they did. I mean, I just looked it up, so you know. You just have to. Oh, thank you. Such a wonderful gift. Oh, I just have to copy you? I don't have to, like, no copyright or patent infringement or... No, it's just a great idea, and you're sharing your great idea with me? Oh, yes! Instead of, nah, fuck that idea. I don't care about your idea. All I actually care about is being able to turn a blind eye, and I don't care as long as it's not directly affecting me. But now, guess what? An epidemic, that affects everybody. Whether you like it or not, because, the Black Plague, that was an epidemic too, right? And that affected everybody. Yeah, addiction and a plague. You could argue about choice, right? People debate that all the time. What does that matter? That's like trying to figure out blame. What does blame matter? What does it matter? Okay, so you assigned 72% here, 8% here, 9.5% here, and then you just have a miscellaneous pile for the rest. Okay. Does it make you feel better? Now what? Let's just skip to that part. Let's skip there. Then now what? What more could we be doing with our resources if we weren't wasting it? And that's what it is on that. As a fellow rape survivor who was not brave enough to get a rape kit done, I don't even know the words, and I have a lot of words. I don't even know the words for that kind of heartbreak that they're not even processing. Like, it's so invasive to have to go through that. I feel that has got to change too. So I guess here's my little soapbox. Let me just climb down from it and see y'all soon. With love.